Welcome back to Pax Europiana. I'm now in the center of ancient Byzantium city Duracium. This is really very beautiful reserved mosaics from the past. 2000 years of Roman culture here in the middle of Albania at this coastal town. Many Europeans probably never come here, and they are basically surprised when I talk about the Roman Empire having invested in this huge structure here 2000 years ago. And Europe is not ready to invest even in highways or railways here in the year 2021. They just talk. And you know, the Romans did big things when they were able to connect Constantinople with Durres, and of course Rome with Constantinople via Thessaloniki. This is the starting point of the ancient Via Egnatia. In Greece they have built their part, they are okay. We here in Europe are a bit late with everything, and this must change. Yeah? Here obviously you see this huge wide opening now of this gigantic amphitheater. It was sitting up to 2,000 people. 2,000 years ago they were able to build such gigantic structures. Yeah? And you know, we are so incapable in the European Union that we leave Albania outside and alone. How should Albania, one of the poorest countries in Europe, cope with an inheritance like this? Yeah? Obviously it's hardly possible. They keep it quite well, but obviously once it will be member of the European Union, this would look totally different. Yeah? Have you seen in Croatia what they did with the Roman inheritance? This is really cool stuff, and it will be similar like here. Look how big it is. Yeah? It's a gigantic Roman legacy, and I call for the European Union to take Albania into this beautiful European Union and to understand the Romans did it for a reason. It was important back then and it is important back now, but we just see everything as the periphery, the east. Yeah. We have the success of the West has led us to neglect the Byzantine and Roman history, and that is very sad. Yeah. We have strategic reasons to be here and to develop this beautiful place in Durres. And look, I want to show you the whole dimension. Here the Albanian flag and the entrance. Here this huge, gigantic structure seating 1,800 people. Now they use it for concerts. They say they have discovered it in '66, but obviously by the end the communists they have destroyed a lot and left it to rot in the chaos of the time of the Albanian transition and the wars. Now they have done their duty, and to the capacities they can do it. Obviously much more needs to be done, and obviously help is on the way. It's the task of the European Union to do this. This is what we can do, this is what we will do, and I promise this will be the most important and most beautiful Roman theater in southeastern Europe, renovated, full of beautiful places, and then it will be also with a well-documented museum, and to show the Roman legacy is strong still here in Durres, into ancient Duracium. It was called Drac by the Serbs who wanted to have it. It was one city which was so important for the Serbs to occupy it in the First Balkan War, and they wanted to have it. It was so important for the Austrian Emperor to call for war with Serbia at the risk of war with Russia to get the Serbs out of Durres, and it's one of the reasons why the First World War broke out. And now 100 years later in Europe we don't even know that and we know Europe, we don't even want to see the Albanians in the EU because of our silly policy dominated by France and by the reluctance of appeasement. And so we are not using the potential of Europe, because a continental union is of course much more productive and economically efficient than what we have at the moment. And you know, here in the center of this beautiful place you see very poor places. This is the prime tourist site. It should be a restaurant, a beautiful place, and here should be prosperity for everybody involved, being so close. But you see it's not. Durres, outside of the main touristic centers at the beach, is still one of the poorest places in Europe, and it's very regrettable. And the fault is by whom? By the European Union, absolutely, and by our reluctance not to enlarge the European Union for so many years. Since a decade soon, since Croatia joined, we have done nothing. We have not included any more country, and it's now time for Albania to join a decade after Croatia, it's time for Albania to join the European Union. And this is what I'm calling here from the ancient ruins of Roman amphitheater here in Durres, the former capital. It was actually the first capital of independent Albania. In a way, Flora was the first. There it was declared, and this was still occupied by Serbian troops in 1912 and 1913. Then obviously it became the capital of the kingdom when Prince Vidi came and started here his first kingdom, 1912, 1913, 14. And then the chaos of the World War, and then the new independent kingdom where they fought against the Italians and then imposed themselves on the world with the American help. Albania would not have existed without Wilson and America, there's no doubt, but they were giving the weapons to defeat the Italians and their imperialist designs, which was very unpopular with President Wilson, all these Italian projects at the Eastern Mediterranean. He really hated the mercenary Italians, and it led to many crises later as well in the world history. And so it's a very important place. Let's never forget, stability in the Balkans is key for peace in Europe, and instability is leading to war in Europe. I don't say a war is imminent, but Mr. Dodik says so because he wants to break up Bosnia, and that can be just the consequence of breakup of Bosnia. He said in the statement, and I say very clearly, the consequence is war, and he will be the victim then. Yeah? So if he wants war, we will be ready, but I'm calling for peace, obviously. So this is the place, and peace can be done by full integration of Bosnia and Kosovo in NATO very fast, and obviously then also Albania, Macedonia, Montenegro by 2024 in the European Union. And as we are not ready with some things here, we can do that. That's the task of us in the European Union, to clean up places and to reorganize it. That's what we can do. That's people like me are doing professionally. Maybe some of them more professionally than me. I agree, my videos. I see some of the other travel vlogs. I learned the word vlog now. Okay, good. I give you my opinions here from the center of the place, and I tell you very clearly it's time for the EU potential candidate status for Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia. I'm here in the dress of the Ukrainians, and it's time for EU membership for Albania, North Macedonia, Montenegro, the NATO allies, and it's time to protect Bosnia and Kosovo by NATO membership from Serbian aggression, and this is absolutely vital at this important summer of 2021. And now I think I would like to leave you here. I have shown you this one. I will walk up to the castle and to show you the 20th century history. This history, I think I started to explain, more to come, and I will explain more of it in the coming weeks, but also a last view of this amazing structure. And always think the Romans did it for a reason. It was an important artery of prosperity between Constantinople and between Rome, and it will be again. Just we have to do our duty in between, and not just to withdraw in the rich parts of Northwestern Europe, but to be active here in Southeastern Europe, include them, and the consequent opportunities will be rich and will be very good for everybody involved. Huh? It's time for continental union, including all Balkans in the European Union and in NATO, and we are going to do that in the 2020s, don't worry. And this will be a wonderful, rich and beautiful place. And I say goodbye now from Roman Durres. Durakium is greeting you. Salve. Bye.